Hey YouTubers, and welcome to the Rodney1279 channel on this August 15th day of 2016. Glad to have you with us. Well, I found an interesting game at the store. Well, there was two games that I found at the store that was very interesting. I kind of want to do a review on them today, just for fun, and to see if some of my Skype friends would love to play with me on this. Now, this game is part Shut the Box, or it's called Shut the Box. Part High Rollers, and there's a gambling element in this game. The game is called Rollers, okay? And I'm going to do an example on how this game is played. So give me a minute, and I'll be back to do the example. Alright guys, well, I got my pieces out of the game board. Well, they're been out right now. And this is how you play Rollers. Well, each player starts with 10 of these chips that have 5s on it. I don't know if you can see it well on camera. You get 10 purple chips with the 5s on it, and 5 white chips with the 1 on it. And you're going to use these chips to, steal from your opponents in the game. And the idea of... Oops, I'm dropping the chips everywhere. Here we go. The idea of this game is you got this card right here, this board right here, and you're going to roll those 6 dice right there and try to fill the board up with these numbers on the board. In other words, each time you take a roll, the dice have to match the roll. For example, if you roll all 6 dice and you get a 1, that's what you have to put there in the open slot, a 1. You got the 2s, you have to get 2 2s in your row, 3 3s, 4 4s, and 5 5s. Now the bottom area is the closed area. Now once you close off your number, that means you can score and steal chips from your opponent. I'll show you how this game works. Now the goal of the game is to fill up your board with the chips in that order, or in any order you want them put in. Now I'm going to show you what you get with these dice. Now these purple dice are ranged from 1 to 5, and then you have a star on this dice that replaces the 6. Now your star is the wild dice, okay? So that's good right there. And you have a black die that goes from 1 to 5. But here's the difference here. There's a zap on here. Now, if you hit the zap on your die roll, that means that your roll will not count unless you save the dice. And I'm going to show you that in the example. Now, normally, you normally the person who is playing the game, they each roll the dice to see who go first. But since we're just doing an example, I'll show you how one round will work. So I'm the green player, and then I'm going to play as the blue player as well. So I'm going to roll all 6 of these dice. It's almost like Yahtzee and almost like playing Farco. Now you see what I got with these dice? I have 2 3s, 2 stars, a 5, and a 1. So I get 3 times to roll the dice to make the best combination possible. Already, I can close off and close off 1 dice, and I have these 3s. The wild, I'm gonna make a 3, and you can close it off. So these 3 3s in this column, I will fill the column with these 3 3s right here. Also, I get to close off a 3. And with me closing off that 3, I can steal chips away from my opponent. And in this case, I will steal 3 chips from my opponent because I'm covering up the 3. So the way you cover up your chips is like so. You cover it up like this. This is how you cover it up. And I have 2 dice left to use, and I also got a 1 that I can cover up. This 1 I can cover up too. but it still is open. Now, since I managed to close off the 3s, I get to take 3 chips away from my opponent. Okay? And each time after that, I get to take 3 more chips away from my opponent if I hit this 3, because he has his 3 open. And that's how you pretty much play the game, and you gotta fill your board up. So I'm gonna sit these dice aside, and I still got 2 more rows left on my turn. Now, if I happen to hit a 1 right here, I can close it off. If I hit this 3, however, I get to keep taking 3 chips away from my opponent, as long as I keep hitting his 3 and his 3 is open. Okay? So let's keep this going here. I get 2 more rows. Oh, it's a zap. Now, if you hit the zap right here, that means that your row will not count. So now I have 1 row. This 3 I cannot use. Here we go. 1 more row. I'm just going to play 1 round for y'all to show you how this game goes. Okay, there's a 3 right there, and I get to close off the 1. So I can close off that 1. So that's closed off. So as long as I keep on hitting 3s and 1s, I get to steal the dice for steal the chips from my opponent. So I get to steal 4 chips from my opponent now. So I take his 5 away, give him his 1, and that completes my turn because I did my 3 rows. And now it's my opponent's turn to fill up his dice. Now, as long as he leaves the 3 and the 1 open, my opponent, my green opponent, gets to keep on stealing chips from my player. Alright? But once he closes the 3 and the 1, then the chips are no longer stolen. Okay? So here we go. We're going to do this game. Now I'm the blue player. Gotta make the best combination off of these rows. Here we go. Alrighty. This is good. We have 2 1s and okay. So we can close off the 1s now. So we can put a covering on the 1 right here and a 1 right there. The 4 4s can be covered, but I need to get another 4 to close it off. There we go. And this is how it looks right here. And since I used all 6 of my dice, my turn is over with. Or the blue player's turn is over with. We'll go with the green player now. We'll go back and forth like this until we complete all the unnecessary areas, and then that player wins that round. So here we go, green player's turn. Alright, let's see what we get with these dice. We got a 4. Now as you keep on rolling these dice and keep on covering rolls, it gets harder. We got 1 2, a 4, 2 2s, and a 3. Now I can use these 2 2s right here. So I can cover up the 2 2s right there. Got the 3, it's open, so I get to take 3 more chips from my opponent. At this point, you kind of want the wild chips in play because the 5s are the hardest ones to get. Alright, and let's see what else. And that's it. Now I can re-roll the dice. Now if I get a single 2 on this row, I can start taking chips from my opponent on the 2 area. So let's roll again. We'll get 2 more rows. Each turn contains up to 3 rows. Okay, we got the 1. Okay. 1. So I get to steal some points here. Steal 4 more points there. And then we have the 2 we can close off. We can do nothing with the 4 here. We can close off this 2. So at this point, I get to take 6 points away from my opponent. My blue player is losing. But I think this game is better if it was played with more than 2 players, so you can use your strategy. So I get to roll one more time to see if I can try to steal more chips from my opponent. Threes, 2s, and 1s. Well, actually, the 1 is already closed off, so I can no longer steal from that area. Oops. Let me put this back. Here we go. So I actually owe him a chip. Oh, there goes the zap. So that means this roll will not count. If you get the zap on any roll, your roll will not count, and it will end your turn right there. So, but I do owe him 1 chip back because I have that covered already, and the turn is over with. This can end up being a long round. So now with this play, he just needs a single 4 to close it off, and then he can start taking chips back from the green player. Here we go. Let's see if the 4 can come up. Now remember, the wild dice are always available in this game. Okay, let's see what we get with these wild dice. We have 3 wild, a 2, and a 1, and the 4 is right there, so I can steal 4 chips away from my opponent because he does not have that 4 closed. That's every time I roll a 4, that is. Now I have an interesting decision. I can make this 3 3s right here. I can close off the 2. And I actually have that 1, but I don't get to steal points from him because he has that 1 already closed off. So in this case, I want to close off the 4. The 4 is closed off. I'm going to make these 3 stars my 3 so I can get that out of the way. So that leaves me with the 2 and the 1. So I'm going to re-roll those and see if I can get a single 3 or maybe a double 2 off this roll. I still have 2 rolls. See what I can get. Okay, we got 2 1s here. These are useless because he got that closed off, so I got 1 more roll to go. Okay, we got the 5 and the 2. So that's no good either. You have to get the double 2s as shown on here. So we go to the green player's turn. So here the green player needs 4 4s or 5 5s. Like the 4s and the 5s are hard to get. Keep on doing this until the round is over. Okay, let's see what we got here. Got the 2s. The 3 is left opened. So we're looking at 4s or 5s right here. Obviously, I have to re-roll these dice, but I do get to take 7 points away from my opponent because he got the 2 and the 3 left open. He hasn't closed off the 2 and the 3 yet. So I'll take the 2 chips here on this side and the 5 on this side. I can re-roll all these dice because I'm looking for 4 4s or 5 5s right here. Keep rolling. Okay, what we got here? Still can't do nothing with them, but I can continue to steal chips from my opponent. I can make all these threes here. So another 12 points in chips taken away from my opponent. Now, if my opponent loses all his chips, that does not mean he's out of the game. I will tell you what happens if he should lose all his chips. So chips go on his side. We got one more roll. Y'all can see it's game tough. The wilds are vitally important. Okay. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 twos and a 3. So I can still take points away. So 4 twos is 8 and 11 chips are taken away from my opponents. Turn is over with. It goes back to the blue player. Blue player is trying to close off the 3 and get the 2s closed off. Here we go. Alright, this is looking good. Now I can close off something right here. So I can completely close off the 2s here. And I got a 3. So that can be closed off as well. This will keep my opponent from stealing all my chips. And because my opponent has the 2s and the lower chips closed off and there's no way I can get the 5 out of the way, my turn is over with. So we go back to the green player. Getting tough now. But actually, he can steal off the 4 here. So yeah, he can steal the chips back because my green player's 4 is opened. You can still roll to steal chips from your opponent, or he can stop if he wishes. But the goal of the game is for him to completely complete his card to win the round. Okay, that's one thing about this game, is you have to pay attention in this game. Alright, let me keep rolling. So let's see if I can steal chips from my opponent. The 4 is opened. Nope. One more roll. Okay, I can steal the 4 again. So I can take 4 chips from my opponent. Done with the round. We go with the green player. Needs 4s or 5s. The blue player is actually closer to winning than the green player. Okay, let's see what we can work with here. Got 5s, 1s, and the wild that doesn't help me because I don't have nothing to close off, so I have to re-roll all the dice again. 2 more rolls. Alright. Nothing again. We're trying to get 4 4s and 5 5s there. So we roll one more time. See if we can get that combination. The wild dice are helpful. This round and this roll may be long. Okay, we got the 5s, not enough to close off the section. We go back to the blue player. At some point, the chip stealing will be over with. Okay, now we're looking for the 5s. 5 5s in a row. Maybe wilds is what we're looking for too. Roll won't count because of the zap. Roll them again. Okay. That doesn't work at all. Need the 5 5s. We roll one more time. And no good, but we do have the 4s. He gets still chips from his opponent because the 4s are open. So 12 chips goes on this side to the blue player. He can steal chips all he wants to. The blue can steal chips from the green because he got the 4 open. We go back to the green player. I'm going to do one more turn each, and then I'm going to tell y'all what happens if this okay, no good right here. It gets very tough as we get close to the end of the round. Four 4s or 5 5s in one single row. I guess this is why this game is called Rollers. No good. Okay, blue player. Okay, we keep stealing chips from my opponent. There's 12 points, 12 chips taken away from my opponent there. Each time the 4s come up, I can keep on stealing chips from my opponent because he got it open. Alrighty, but no 5s yet, and 2 more rows to go. Because I don't want to keep this video going too long. I just want to show y'all the gist of it. Even if the dice go off the board, that when that zap comes up, it does not count. You lose that row. On the black die, that is. One more row, and then I'm just going to get to the point of the game. This will be a fun game to play against my grandmother. This one, okay. I get to take 8 more points from my opponent because he got that 4 open still. Now, let's say that my blue player wins the game by getting all 5 5s and getting that 5, okay? See, it will look like this when your card is filled. That means you won the round. And if you win the round, you get 2 points for winning. You get 2 points, and the points on top of your game board. You get 2 points for winning the round, and 1 point extra. And you get an extra 1 point if you should have the most total chips on the table. But let's say that you run out of all your chips on this table. Then you lose all your points. Well, you don't lose all your points. You only get 1 chip, not the 2, for winning the game. So, guys, that's basically a review of the Rollers game. Now, guys, if y'all want to see me play this on my channel, we can do this game on my channel at any time. And, guys, if you want to see me play it on my channel, please let me know in the comments below. And that's pretty much it, guys. Well, guys, y'all be safe. Y'all be careful. Take care, everybody. And take care and stay blessed. Goodbye, y'all.